for is to rebuild our culture and to create a new lasting legacy of peace.
Yes, London, we're back. We're back. It's the doctor's surgery. You know, we do it each and every Tuesday morning from 8 until 11. We're Britain's first Black current affairs show. So welcome. We discuss all the current affairs that's been in the media nationally and internationally for the past week. Not looking at every single point, but looking at the nuances that were missed that pertains to us as a people. And sometimes the general topic here is that needs further dissecting and breaking down so that we can have an internal discussion for clarity about it. We want to thank all the callers that called during the advert break regarding the matter. I want to touch on a point from a first caller um, that highlighted something which we missed in terms of the Kamala. We have a live call already. Yeah. All right. Hold on. We have to come back to that point. I won't forget caller. Don't worry. I'll come back to that point. Caller, you're live. Where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Houston.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Going to be a little bit busy, but I heard you talking about certain aspects of mixed race and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say a few, maybe what people might say are outrageous things. I want to say regardless.
Hold on. People might say it's racist.
No, outrageous.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right.
Maybe
Okay.
even racist. But to be honest, I couldn't care less.
No, man,
So
we have to make sure so we don't offend enough. Things need to be explained in a manner where we're not trying. I'm not here to offend anyone. I'm here to explain as best as I can certain nuances.
People are always going to be offended, brother, whether you say.
No, the offense can be caused, but to say something maliciously offensive without it being an attempt to explain is then a different matter. If you,
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the way how people do it.
yeah,
This is what I wanted to say because I don't agree with race mixing. I got to tell you that right now.
Okay.
People can choose to be with whoever they want to be with. Yeah, we're all humans, and anyone's got the right to love somebody if they choose to, and if they get on with that person. Who am I or you or anyone else to say anything about it? And that's the truth. Yeah.
That's right.
But given the problems that Africans and Black people and Caribbean people go through, and our history with the slave master, and what happened to the Black woman, and how he raped her, yeah, and how a lot of this race mixing between Black people and Europeans came about, wasn't exactly a positive thing. Now, I've got mixed race people, family members. It's kind of weird because I've got 5 sisters. My youngest sister, she's the only one out of all my sisters who have had a child with someone who wasn't a Black man. Yeah. Now, she also had another child with a Black man, so she had 2 children. One was dark skinned and one was mixed race. Sadly, my nephew, who was dark skinned, he was born disabled. He had cerebral palsy and he's now dead. His name was Dwayne. He's a really lovely boy. And he's not around no more. I just feel it a lot when I talk about him. And so he's gone. And then there's her second child, who's mixed race. Now, his father is or was a mate of mine, a friend of mine from years ago. Now,
try not to give no identifiable things, okay? Please. I don't want anyone to feel away. No, I mean identifiable as in names or anything, please. Yeah, keep it as respectful to the other party as best as possible. Okay, carry on. No, I know. I was the same. It's a Dwayne still, so but me just say try to. But carry on. I'm sorry to have interrupted.
Okay, all right. So anyway, he's Moroccan, yeah. So, and me and him used to get on when I was young and sort of less knowledgeable and a lot more open than I am now. And I didn't know no better because I wasn't privy to certain knowledge or wasn't taught certain things, so I didn't know no better. So anyways, to hang around with this guy, we used to be really good friends. Now what he did is, behind my back, I call it breaking the Scarface rule in life. He slept with my sister, yeah? Now, not only did he sleep with her, but he created a child. Now, I didn't know that he was the father for a long time. And then one day when I asked him, he actually denied it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked my sister, is he the father? And even though I knew that he was, she was kind of reluctant to reveal the fact. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since he's been born, yeah, and her other son is now dead, it's just caused a lot of problems, yeah? Because the relationship that I had with that guy, that was my friend, number one, it's broken now, but got broken down years ago. Yeah, I didn't like the way how he did what he did. He was one of those guys that it seemed quite maybe easy for him to get girls, you know, like a guy that's kind of like a gigolo. Yeah?
You want me to stop you? You want I'm going to stop you, yeah?
Yes, brother.
I hope you're going to make it relevant to the subject matter at hand, and in terms of, because if it is,
I'm getting to that.
All right, no worries, carry on.
It's a bit long, but I'm just wanting to say, because you'll see and understand when I again, not going to take me too much longer.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it broke down a relationship, yeah, between me and him. Now, my nephew, who's mixed race, I happened to see him yesterday since the burial of his brother, who was dark-skinned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my other nephew, who's mixed race, also happens to be. Now, I noticed that this is his brother. When he died, yeah, since the moment he died, he never once went to the cemetery to lay his flowers on his grave or anything, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that's more because he's Muslim as opposed to being, not because he's mixed race, because he's Muslims, because apparently Muslims don't go into other like the cemetery of anyone who's Christian or anyone who is non-Muslim. Yeah, I don't know if that is actually 100% precise, but I've been told. I represented him a little bit for that. Now, also, it's funny because when I saw him yesterday, he used to be a lot lighter skinned. When I saw him yesterday, he freaked me out a bit because he's much more darker. So when I saw him, I kind of laughed. I said, "Yeah, look at you, man. You're a proper black man, man." Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he laughed and he said, well, you know how it is, and his eyes have got darker, his skin's got considerably darker, and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you was talking a little bit about this Kamala Harris woman, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
half Indian and half black. Look, it's my contention that there is no advantage for black people, yeah, to necessarily have relationships with other people, yeah, because all of these other people, most other races, if not all people, yeah, have got something horrible or negative or nasty to say about black people, whether we be Caribbean or African or whoever we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I've noticed that in mixed race relationships, yeah, it always seems to be that way. I've got a friend of mine, he's mixed race, yeah. Check this out. He's mixed race, his girlfriend's mixed race, but his mother's black and her mother's white. Guess what he turned around and said to me? And I laughed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he turned around and said, "Oh, if you're going to be in a mixed race relationship, it's better that your mum's black." Right? And I said, "Why?" Yeah, because you're mixed race. Why are you saying that? Yeah, and he goes, "Well, from his perspective, yeah, that being mixed race and having white people as your parents, yeah, or white people as one of the partners, they never ever seem to understand or refuse to understand the complexities of the issue, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're dealing with certain things, it's all right for mixed race people to want to claim that they're being black on one occasion or feeling comfortable to be white on another occasion, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So all that this is going to do, the way from my perspective, is just going to promote confusion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be, a certain type of confusion, or it's going to be a really heavy type of confusion,
Mm-hmm.
all right? This dual identity business, this idea of one person trying to fit into this mold of being black or being white or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of mixed race people say, oh, but there's an advantage, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
To me, there is no advantage, yeah? Black people going with white people, yeah, and then creating mixed race children, there's no advantage to that, yeah? And anyone who says that there's an advantage because they're half white or whatever, because certain doors get open for them, good, they can feel that way if they want to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah? But to me, that's just another thing that they're going to say and use to denigrate black people. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen nearly every single one of my friends, yeah, who's black. None of them, yeah, there's maybe two. All of them are going out with white women, white European girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said in the beginning, you can choose to go out with whoever whoever you want to. But this idea, yeah, that 80-90% of all black men in this country are currently with European women, yeah, it's wrong. It's not helping us. In a way, it's disgraceful. Yeah, it's just making creating a different form of racism that's gonna overshadow us in the future. Yeah, but creating a whole new group of people. Yeah, these mixed race people. That if we keep race mixing at the rate that we do, they're made sooner or later going to outnumber us. Yeah. Now, just like in the days of slavery, when the slave master, yeah, raped the black woman, created the mixed race child, and used that mixed race child to lord it over all the other black slaves. Yeah. So, to me, what advantage is there for us by race mixing? Yeah. Why are we still going to have this argument about we should or shouldn't do this thing when we create children that look like you and me, and we can't really look after them, brother? Yeah. The amount of black men that I see and hear, if you hear the vehementness, the anger, the vitriol in their voice when they're talking about black women, it is so disgusting. It's horrible. It's one of the worst things I've ever heard. It sounds like they're so brainwashed that I really don't know what to say. Yeah. Also about the fact that I thought white people are supposed to have recessive genes. So if they do have, why are we racing them with them? Yeah. There's another situation. A friend of mine, his mother's black. She's a Jamaican woman. She married a black man. Yeah. She had 2 children. What happened was, eventually, he left, ended up with a white woman. Now, he's dead. She thieved the money. She ran off with the yard, this, that, and whatever. Yeah. Now, if you see how the mother is, the black woman, this poor woman, yeah. And now her son, he tried to do something that he shouldn't have done, yeah, to take his last name. Yeah. So now she's very, very, very distraught. And as a black woman, I don't even know she could even contemplate even talking to a black man now. Yeah. If you see her walking down the road and you say, I tried to say hello to her once, and if you see I know that someone looked at me like that, yeah, cut you right in half. And I don't know how she made me feel when she looked at me. I just thought, wow, why is she carrying on like that? So when I asked my friend and he was telling me, I thought, wow, I started to understand that. And I kind of felt for her, yeah? Because many black men do that. They end up going out with the sisters, yeah? Or going out with a black woman. They ditch her, they disrespect her, they leave her, then they go and meet a white woman, they have children with her, these mixed race children, and then to me, suddenly it seems to me that their relationship is repaired, yeah? They're getting an all happy, all hunky-dory, and everything's cool, yeah? And most of them, you always see, always want like they're moving out the neighbourhood. Yeah, so most people that I know, most black men that I know that are race mixers, they don't really live in London. Yeah, they want to hide and do that. Go and live in Surrey, Kent, Hertfordshire, and all these other places. And like I said, being mixed race could be, according to someone's psychology or how they think, could be a blessing or a curse. Yeah, I really like Lewis Hamilton. I want him to do really, really well. Yeah,
very much so.
Smash it. But at the end of the day, yeah. He's still mixed race. I'm saying that's necessarily a bad thing, yeah? But I am saying that, look, we're never going to unite. We're never going to get anywhere if black people keep running away from each other constantly, yeah? And we keep having this idea that being one type of black is bad or another type is good, or black is something else, yeah? Sometimes you get black people going to turn around and say, oh, you're not an African, yeah, because you don't sound a certain way, or you don't talk a certain way, or you were born here. Yeah, or you may not understand certain aspects of your culture. Yeah, so to me, all of this race mixing does, all it's doing is just bringing us backwards. It's not really helping us. It doesn't really enhance us, and I think that we should stop it.
Do you hold the position I hold? I think black women need to stand up in their natural beauty, and I think if they don't stand up in their natural beauty, and my producer is touching and twisting up around the corner, but I'm saying it up because I have to say, until you stand up in your natural beauty and be proud of you, who you are in all its entirety, just like how I am besmitten by every woman that stands in their natural beauty, I think that we will always have the problem.
We'll put it this way, why is that happening? Because, you know, certain maybe other groups of people, and how did they do it? They used the Barbie doll or Cindy doll, yeah? So the Mattel company, back in, what was it, the 60s or 70s when they invented that doll, yeah? They made it specifically look a certain way, with long hair, skinny body and blue eyes and all this nonsense. Yeah, that's a sickly looking thing. That was done specifically so that would then shape the ideas in the minds of people what a certain standard of beauty is. Now, because maybe at certain points, black women got that black is beautiful, she now and then wanted to express herself in a way that she could become more desirable towards black men. So next thing, why are so much African women and dark-skinned women bleaching their skin? They know that crap gives them skin cancer, but yet they want to bleach their skin because they've got this idea that being lighter makes them more attractive, makes them better, and all of this really ill crap. I mean, if that's what they really think, then why? That's up to them, isn't it? But I don't think that way.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making. If you're in a situation where you see something and it's representative of and I don't want to say it I don't want to say it because I'm not I don't want to bash our women, but if you see a behavior that you associate with an ill mind, for whatever reasons you associate that behavior with an ill mind or a difficult mind or a mindset that's not quite as balanced as it should be, you tend to then avoid that. And this is the problem. A lot of the telltale things that black women do, thinking that it will attract, it actually repels. And this is
sorry.
And this is no, you're right. It isn't. It actually repels, and this is what I'm saying, that they have to recognize that the things that they're doing and say this is what men like. No, only man that likes that is the confused man that's going to do you wrong. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
Because you're saying that, we got to, so in other words, we've got to know ourselves more than the black woman's got to know herself.
Once she knows herself, when you see a natural beautiful woman and you have a natural beautiful woman, you don't want to leave that natural beautiful woman, because when you go find out there, you're not going to find something naturally beautiful. So you want something, everybody wants someone that's naturally beautiful. But when the woman goes home, and I'm not saying it in a disparaging way, I'm just being real. When a woman goes home and she takes off her beauty, it wasn't something that was real.
Okay, but brother, listen, it's not just down to black women. What, you think the black man hasn't got a lot to, he's responsible in a lot of ways for this kind of thing happening.
And this is
at the end of the day, it's things like that, where Hollywood has blinded them, adverts have blinded them. This is the black woman I'm talking about specifically. Even porn, because there's a lot of black men that may look at porn, from a lot of European women or certain type of women, and those women, because of the way that they are, they might be willing to do certain things or behave in a sexual way that maybe certain sisters or whatever won't do, so they become non-attractive to those men anyway. Look, I see black men walking around that have dyed their hair blonde and green, and some of the footballers just, what the hell's all that about? So if they know themselves, then why would you want to dye your hair green?
You see, I don't mind a woman with her natural hair dyeing her hair color and messing around like that. Because at the end of the day, it's something that will is still representative of her natural self. What I'm talking about is the synthetics.
You're talking about mindset.
I'm talking about I'm talking about the synthetics, and the synthetics are designed to attract a mindset of a man that's also deteriorating and sick and ill. So if you're attracting an ill mind through ill actions, then you're going to be in an illegitimate relationship. You get what I'm saying? So you need to present the net. You need to create the net of what you want to trap and attract. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do. At the same, I don't know, man. I don't say that you're emphasizing too much on black women. The problem.
No, both. It's both, because the woman decide whether we want to accept it or not. The women decide.
Well, you know what? Black men make the decision to go with white women when they don't have to. And then it may cause problems in the future. You see how a lot of mixed race relationships, they don't even last. They break down. So try doing something with your black woman for a change. Look, the girl that I used to go out with, all right, it's funny, she's got sisters. Two of her sisters go out with, one goes out with some guy who's white, Another sister goes out with another guy who's half Indian and half white, yeah? And she don't, the one that I was seeing, she doesn't want to have anything to do with any other man, only a black man. So I really liked her and respected her for that. Sadly, we didn't get on because of clashes in our personality. Yeah, but I was speaking to you about this last week, yeah? And it caused quite a problem, yeah? And, you know, also the fact that, how can I say this? There's a friend of mine, I don't know, I better not bring that one up. Look, all I'm saying is it just causes a lot of confusion, yeah? So it's Kamala Harris, when she's turning around and saying she wants to be maybe a little bit negative when she's talking about the black side of her culture. Well, why would anyone be surprised and shocked about that? So she's going to big up her Asian or Indian culture, but she's going to have something stupid or rotten or nasty to say about the black side of her culture. And brother, this is how it's going to be all the time, yeah? Because white people, yeah, and the world has lied, yeah, to itself and to themselves about who we are, our accomplishments, yeah, and how we really are. So that now the whole world is brainwashed into believing that anything black is negative or bad or this or that. They've even got meanings in the dictionary just to rub it in.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make you to know that even more.
Yeah,
so despite the fact that we know all this, why the hell do so much percentage of black men in this country now, and we keep talking about, oh, black people need to unite, black people need to do this, black people need to do that, yeah? And all of these black men ain't doing nothing to make anything happen where we're going to unite.
All right, Paula.
These same black men, when they see certain things happening on the TV, yeah, and like a George Floyd situation or whatever, I really wonder what it must be like when they're in their household or in their flat or whatever with their white woman, and they start talking about certain things and it gets a bit heated or whatever. I really wonder and think about the kind of situations and what kind of conversations that they have.
Well,
I mean,
no, I'm not going to say that. No, I hear you. I hear you. I want to get a couple more callers before the time done. So because I want to read out a couple text messages and deal with a call I got during the break. But I hear you completely, and I'm going to address a few of the points that you said on here after I come off. Yeah.
Okay, brother.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you. It was a very good comment. Thank you. So yeah, text message reads, why attack black women? All people are affected by things they are exposed to. That you personally prefer women in their natural beauty, it is horses for courses. I don't understand that last bit, 202. If you could clarify that, I know that might be a what do you call it, a pun on a statement, or that might mean something else. A play on words, but I don't get the play, and I don't want to lose your point. I want to explain it, because what I want to highlight and emphasize, I say I prefer natural beauty, and granted I do, but I'm not just simply coming from a point of view where I'm looking at preferences. When you look at psychological profiles and psychological studies, you start to see on the research perspectives of stuff why certain actions from some people are taken. And as a result of that, based on that, you realize what is a natural expected behavior and what is influenced behavior. And we all are influenced by society. We have I'll come back to you. Caller, you live. Where you calling from? What's your name?
Greetings. I'm actually Miss Smith, and I'm calling from London.
Good morning, Miss Smooth. You're so smooth with the smoothness. So you get me?
That's why I was given the name. The reason why I'm calling is that it's quite an interesting conversation we're having about Kamala Harris and how she identified with one side of her culture, heritage, and not the other. And we get that she's an opportunist and all the rest of it, she's not going to do anything. But it was when you were speaking to the previous caller, you were really, really hard on black women.
Okay.
And my point was that everybody is affected.
We all are, yes.
So it is men, and that's right. But you're much, much harder on the women And I think that as a man, you need to be talking about the positive things that you do to set an example as to why you would like men to change their perspective and stop attacking black women.
Okay. You know, Paula, you're the second person today.
Thank you.
I had a call. I know you're still tight. we had a caller in the advert break that said they didn't agree with everything I said because a lot of chauvinism seeps through in my comments. And perhaps, and this is why it's good to talk, I have to learn about where my chauvinism points are so that I can reform and better myself, because growth is about always improving yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I get that. So if you get the same message twice in 30 minutes,
it must be true.
It's
something. It must be true. So I appreciate it. So tell me.
And you can have your view, and I can see the way that you're trying to be fair to people and not to say things offensive. But if you, as you've recognised, if you don't know your own biases, you are attacking people who purport to support.
All right, that's a very good.
Of course, is that there have always been women who like to emphasise their beauty with accoutrements, synthetic or otherwise, and there are men who've always liked that look. Just as you like them to be natural, although you're happy for them to bleach their hair, you also, that your preference is for natural. So there are men that like women to look natural because that's where they see their beauty, and there are men that like the accoutrements. So for some they like jewelry, for others it's makeup, for others it's the clothing, for others it's the whole package.
So
Horses for courses.
Yeah. So
where that analogy comes from is that if you've got a horse that's a sprinter, you put it on the flat. If you've got a big strong horse, you put them over jumps. So what men like and what women like to repair themselves, there will be a match. It isn't always a case of being misguided, much as we would like to believe it. It is actually just a case of personal preference.
Okay.
And even in African culture, however far back you go, there's always been adornment.
Yes.
So when you're attacking women for the synthetics, you may well be saying, do you know what, I wouldn't mind if you wore a weave, but if you kept it in good condition. If you didn't wear the blonde weave and you wore a weave that's more natural becoming to your complexion. But when you make those generalizations, all you've actually managed to do is denigrate black women.
Okay.
If you wish to elevate us and do it well. If you want something to change, describe the change accurately and say why you like it or dislike it.
Okay. You see, this is it's good to talk. No, I'm glad you called because I'm learning. And I'm not saying it in a sarcastic manner. I'm genuinely learning. So, I guess then the point then I should have said earlier is men encourage your women to be as safe with their adornment as possible that reflects their true being and treat them to be confident in who they are.
Okay, you can take that back a bit further and just say men love yourself. So that when you meet a woman that you're attracted to, you'll be meeting women that love themselves. And there's the example. You'll be encouraging other people that have insecurities about self-love to seek and address the underlying issue.
Okay.
Because that's where it's rooted,
Okay.
in the amount of self-love. So if the men don't love themselves and only love women who wear those accoutrements that emphasize the desire to look like a Caucasian, then they both need to do something about it. But if they're both happy in that space, let them be happy in that space and in joint happiness seek to find enlightenment.
Okay. No, it's not.
Don't have the man come up to him and say, you know, you're gorgeous, but I don't like the weave.
Okay.
Disrespect that is in that, because that's basically what you're saying. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the meaning of what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But it's just like when you are confident you love yourself, those are the women that you will attract. So you will find like-minded women.
Okay.
And if you hold yourself and comport yourself and are respectful when you speak to women who behave in a different fashion, they may be tempted to follow what you do. As they say, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
True.
Okay, I'm done.
Thank you very much,
She
Miss.
listens at me for free. Next time I'll send you a fee.
Yeah, man. You see, but I love the show, Miss Smooth, because you know what, we all are learning together. Because I'm telling you that there's men like myself listening right now that they've taken a whole leaf out of what you just said, and this is what I push for this topic for, to create this narrative so that the intellects that are all in our society can have a voice, that it breeds that common narrative. So everyone that's listening to the show today has elevated themselves a little bit up more because of how everything is transpired, and that is what the whole narrative is about. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, glad to be part of the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your show and the rest of your day.
Likewise.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, man. We have to big up the sis. I appreciate the time that taken for all the callers to call and actually give their input. I think today is probably one of the best shows so far, simply because it's not. There's been so many voices, and it's creating that cleaner narrative, and it's teaching all of us simultaneously. Because I've learned a lot. Some people, you know, that I'm going to get a lot of headache in the journey back today, because I didn't drive, so boy,
I don't know why.
I think
Miss
I
Smooth
might
didn't
I
call
think
me
I might
earlier.
walk home this after I leave the studio.
Previous
I think I
shows.
might walk home, because I know the producer is going to be saying, I've been telling you this now from a long time. Yeah, listen, but this is what I'm saying, you know, it's about we all
Not the right.
learning. No, we all no.
No, it's not. It's like
Sometimes it takes
someone else to tell you.
someone
the
else
message.
to,
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
to tell you something, you
Yeah.
know. So,
I understand that.
and henceforth, why, you know, I've always been encouraging the producer to have a greater voice and a greater presence in the show, because I can't get the narrative across. I don't understand it sometimes. So I said, you know what, you do it. You put it across, because I'm not going to get it across the right way. You know, and that's the important factor. Text message reads, I still find it amazing that mixed race people don't see themselves as members of the black family, but as a member of a separate race completely. And that's from 375. Why 375? Not all. Let's not generalize like that. We understand what you mean, though. We fully understand what you mean. We have quite a few
I
that
understand.
do recognize and do stand firmly where you would want, and you know, a brother or sister to stand. And that is a beautiful thing. The ones that we are weeding out in a disparaging way are the ones that, you know, they pick and choose when they should be in our corners. You know, and it's not about picking and choosing. Life is not like that. You know, it's about when, if you see the corner going the wrong way or something, you might say, listen, let's have a conversation. But just to abandon us and to, you know, choose a situation that is more appealing, and you know, or easier to get through, it just means then that, you know, you were never true to the cause.
Can I just quickly ask you? I don't understand why it's a case that mixed person always has to identify with being black. I don't understand.
No, it's not about being black. It's
I don't
about
get it.
it's not about being black or being white, because I understand what you're saying. You're saying you want people to identify as who they are. If they mix, recognize that they mix, and recognize both sides of their cultural biases in that sense, and having that recognition. And what I'm saying is that there's people out there that pick and choose when they want to be on one side and when they want to be on the other side, when they want to be black and when they want to be mixed. And that picky choosy, it always leaves us in the black
Negative
corner in a deprived situation. And that's what we have to stop. You know, no more. The whole philosophy of what we said last week, no more. There's certain things that we will tolerate and we will take no more. So we're clearing up the nuances out there in all these subject areas. You know, we have the dolls. Let's make our own dolls with the images that we want to portray.
I think
You know, we have the show. Let's create our own narrative and clear up these discussions. And to all the black women out there today that I may have offended, you know, my sincerest heartfelt, no, real talk, my sincerest heartfelt apology. That's not the angle where I was coming from. And I guess as a man that doesn't fully grasp the difficulties you guys are facing, I'm not able to have that voice as best as it should be, and that's why we always have in life in how things are presented. You wanted to say something?
I forgot. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Text message reads: the last call and put her point across eloquently and hit the nail on the head, as did you, young man, before. It's been an extremely interesting and enjoyable program today. Well done. Thanks. Thank you very much, 480. I appreciate that positive feedback. For those of you just tuning in, we're almost coming to the end of the show. If you want to take part, we can do probably another call, 0753-996-8143. I'll give it again, 0753-996-8143. One last one for the money, 0753-996-8143. That's the text or the calling line. It's the doctor's surgery. As you know, each and every week, we bring you all the information that's been pertinent and important to us in the news. You know, Britain's first Black current affairs show. Let me say it again. Britain's first Black current affairs show. Because since we started this show in January, I'm observant. Since we started this show in January, and they say, when they say what's the greatest form of flattery?
Impersonal impersonation.
Yeah, it's the greatest form of flattery. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for everyone that's actually, you know, greatest form of flattery. Thank you all. Contact Carol. Oh, sorry, the phone's ringing. Sorry, we'll come back to that text message. Sorry, just there's a call coming through. Yeah, so what have we been discussing today? Let me do a quick summary, just in case the call doesn't want to go live. So the summary of the show today, for those of you that have been listening or haven't been here since the beginning, we discussed the closing down of the Stephen Lawrence's case. I strongly feel there should be a petition to get Crusader Dick out of that seat that she holds in the Metropolitan Police. I think she's a terrible, either competent or complicit to the poor performance towards the Black people of the police. So she's either complicit or incompetent, and none of the results is either good. So I think she needs to go as police commissioner. We need a more advanced or understanding commissioner towards the nuances of what's going on out in the public, not to replace her with someone more forceful. We've discussed schools and grades. We've discussed schools and grades in relation to the exam results and how it's affected us as a people. What happened?
You need to make the point.
What point?
The woman caller in the break.
Oh, yes.
Quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had a call in the break, and a caller was talking to us about the father of Kamala Harris, and we seem to not be just like what's transpired since then. We have to also put the onus of responsibility on the inactions or the inappropriate actions on the father as well. You know, his actions in deciding to race mix, as some people would say, you know, and then not be happy with the outcome of that in his comments is something that he then has to also be responsible for, you know, because if for whatever reasons people do things, we're not saying you shouldn't or you should race mix, that's down to the individual. I'm just saying, whatever your actions are, the outcome, you have to be able to take the responsibility of the outcomes from that. Okay, so it's too much that we do things, and then when the results aren't to our liking, we try to blame the other party, where in this sense he's putting a lot of heavy blame on the daughter and on the mother, but yet he has to hold a lot of the blame and a lot of the responsibility for his past actions leading up to where it was. If it was the case, If it was the case where, um, sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a second there. If it was the case that he's not in agreement, he should have been there throughout the lifetime of his daughter more so to help guide her decisions. And it doesn't mean that it's because, or one of the points that I have to highlight, it doesn't mean that it's because she's mixed why the discrepancy is taking place. Sometimes absent fathers or absent parents don't have the influence they should have, whether the child is mixed or not. It's just unfortunate in this situation, it's manifested in this manner, and not liking to it because of the mixed nature and the cultural biases presented by his daughter. But that onus of responsibility falls and irks on his shoulder, because in a sense you could have said, sir, if that's the case and that's your worry, you should have taken someone that looked like your mother and to continue.
I also think, I don't think when you're in a mixed relationship you understand or understand the consequences outside of your relationship, so the impact how their family might perceive you, or furthermore the impact that how society impacts on that relationship.
Okay, text message reads, ooh, this one's a bit of a delicate one. Miss Smooth was articulate in her views and I understand what she was saying, but I still agree with your stand and don't think an apology is necessary on your part. Really apologizing for my comment, I was apologizing if I've offended, because I'm not trying to make my, no, I was gonna say my women like them all, my woman. No, I'm not trying to make black women feel, black women are going through a lot and we need to listen. And when we were all going through our difficulties during all the pre-civil rights and all these things where men was at the forefront, our women stood by us. Now they're saying they're having it difficult. We need to listen and stand by them till we can get to that equal path.
Because as well, I don't feel like we would ever progress if there's two fractions of males having one view, females having another view. Because there's always that entity where someone can come in and say your oppression isn't because of this, it's because you're female, or your oppression isn't because of this, it's because of that.
All I was saying to that is that for and I'm scared to say, for our women out there, you would be listening more when you reflect everything imagery wise of what you're trying to portray. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, but when you are in the epiphany, that image of greatness in all areas, it only reflects them greatness. And that's all I'm saying. Image is a powerful thing. A president in a suit is far more powerful than a president in a tracksuit. A president in his tailor-made suit is far more powerful than a tastings. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong or right in a lot of senses to that either. But Miss Smooth's point is very, very valid, and I'm not going to denigrate it because it was a powerful statement and we have to listen. Text message reads, big up to all the black women in the world. Without you, we would not exist. I honor and respect and love them. That's from 971. And 674 says, what was the additional comment that you wanted to make regarding the educational system point that the first caller made? The educational system. All I can say, at the moment, I can't remember the exact point, but what I will summarize with that is that the educational system is designed in such a way where there's so many different nuances that impact on our youngsters over certain times in primary school or that early stage where everything's a bit more delicate. There's so much that leeway that's given to our children, so they progress well. But after a certain point where they start to observe certain things and they start to pick up on the nuances themselves, because the child will start coming home and say they like this teacher but they don't like that teacher initially. All these things we have to pay mindfulness to. A psychological trick that you should always be aware of as a young mother or as a mother of a young child, never tell your child, this is a psychological pre-program, never tell your child, listen to the teacher. Tell your child, if you're going to use the words, be careful with the words you use. Tell your child, pay attention in school, but listen to me, I'm the parent. Never give away that power. Never give away your power of authority to anyone. Have you ever seen that clip with the young child arguing with the dad because the dad say, no, that's wrong. And he goes, no, the teacher said this. And the dad couldn't, the teacher had more power to the child's mind than the father. That's because you give away power of authority. That's just something I just wanted to throw in there. Text message, contact Carol Cato, who founded Shops Noor online platform for Black business. Text message reads, I think the word mixed race is a colonized term. If Lewis Hampton is mixed race, what would you call the lighter people is all confusing. I think brown or red would stop the madness of some so-called mixed race individual.
Yes.
You know, and text message reads, was it about an alternative education system or homeschooling? Oh, the caller was asking about whether there's any benefits. So text message reads, was it about an alternative educational system? What the caller was asking in the early part of the show was, would there be any benefits in homeschooling or setting up our own educational system? My response to that was that a separate educational system would be very, very good. Homeschooling would even be better for those that can put those structures in place. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. If we can put together something that is legal and fulfills all the curriculum points and helps our children to expand at their mentality and their educational or their academic achievements and take it to that level further and keep them safe and secure, you know, in all areas, then there's nothing wrong with that system. And those are the points that I think we'd have to pay key and masterful attention to. But I think they were saying that there's a system in place already. They were asking, would it be of benefit? And I can't see why there wouldn't be a system of benefit. As you know, homeschooling has always shown statistically to be better for children academically. Text message reads, just wanted to throw in this, white women dye their hair, have it in different styles, wear extensions. They wear sexy clothes too. They go to tan shops to get a tan. So really, what is the difference? As do other nationalities. So appearance of a woman is individual and a choice. People are free to choose. Nothing wrong with that. Now, there's nothing wrong with people exercising their choices, but what you have to also be mindful of is how those choices influence a young influential mind and how those choices influence the wider public. Sometimes you may not see the actions, the negative ramifications of your actions. If we use the artist Vybz Kartel as an example in this situation, there's a bleaching epidemic in Jamaica right now since amongst young boys in school started because of that. And it wasn't an image thing for him, but it's become an image thing all over again. Caller, you got about a minute.
Yes, I know. I'm going to be very brief. It's DJ Mello. I normally come on at 8 and 11 on Tuesday.
How you doing?
Very good show. Very good show. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
About the colour issue. I'm parents are both dark to me. I'm sure I've got white in my family somewhere down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I talk about colour and issues, I try to keep it simple. The problem we have is the people that have a problem with colour hate everybody that isn't white. Us colourful people haven't got an issue with colour until we talk about it amongst ourselves. So just to dissect it, people of colour are everybody that doesn't really get respected by white people who are white of different colours, as we know. So, just breaking it down, making it a bit simple so people can clarify the situation of colour and ourselves. Concerning myself, quickly, just
but let me summarize. DJ Mello, you got call back next week with it. Yeah, I have to summarize. Yeah, please. Yeah. I only got like 50 seconds. Let me summarize the show. Next week we deal with it. All right, please. All right, big up. All right, thank you. Yeah, man. All right, one. Yes, it's been the doctor's surgery for this week. I want to thank DJ Mello. Sorry for cutting you short, DJ Mello. So watch us live on YouTube. Go onto YouTube, subscribe to the channel, The Doctor's Surgery Filter via channels, and we're at the top, The Doctor's Surgery. We've got quite a few shows there that we've done in the past. You can have a listen to them. Until next week, take care and give care. We're back on air next week between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. in the morning. Until then, all the best. Oh, I've got to go.